Welcome to the Health Shift Revolution, Bakersfield, California's premier holistic health network, featuring Roland Brown and Bobby Perrine. Two completely different guys on the same path with the knowledge, experience, and no-nonsense approach to help you navigate the way through the difficult journey of finding your way to holistic health. We're glad you stopped by. Take a second, slow down, and you just might discover that your goals are closer than you think. Take it away, guys. Good morning. Welcome to the Health Shift Revolution podcast. How you doing this morning, Roland?
Hey, I'm doing great, Bobby. How are you?
Oh, man. I was up at 5, working out, meditation, feeling good today.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations. I have not yet worked out today.
Roland.
Hey. I start training people at 4:45 in the morning. My workouts happen in the midday.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll let you have it.
Yeah, I'll work out after we finish.
Well, I worked on social media and videos and Tababta and all kinds of stuff yesterday. I didn't get to work out last night till 7 o'clock. So
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? That's the beauty of it. You just pick a time, and any time is a good time.
Well, that's a good thing too. It's like that muscle confusion science stuff where if you're doing the same thing all the time, your body gets used to it. So you got to throw it a curveball every now and then.
Yeah, that's what they call a cheeseburger.
No, not in the vegan world.
Throw it a curve, baby. Throw it a curve.
One of these days, we're going to talk about being a vegan. All right.
Yes,
But today we got some good stuff for you, man. We got some really good stuff for you because
folks.
Exercise changes your life. And that is no small statement. That is a profound revelation that you get when you begin to exercise. Yes. So many things happen to you and unexpected stuff. Because my goal in the beginning, like I said, I burst into tears basically because I was a narcissist and I didn't want to look like that anymore with the gut and the jowls and the things that was happening to me. So I got really self-conscious. So I started exercising, and then all hosts of things began to happen to me. Better sleep, better sex, better energy, better demeanor, outlook on life. Everything changed. And I was like, this is just from exercise. So changing your diet a little bit and exercise a little bit can have profound effects on your life.
Absolutely. In fact, the simple reality is we were created to move. We are not static creatures. We were designed for movement. We're designed for activity. If you look around our daily lives, whatever we're called to do, no matter what, it requires a physical action. Right. And so the idea of this passive sedentary lifestyle that's developed as a result of modern technology and convenience is antithetical to the way we were actually created and designed. So when we just do what is natural to us, and that's movement and stuff, and it's like we said, the reality is there are benefits to physical fitness that we were never really supposed to have to, do as an extension or as an outward activity. Technology has made it where we actually have to be intentional about moving. You start to think about that. It's like, we always, we talk about this, that people are doing like, well, why do I need to work out? Well, all the things now that we exercise for, that we train for, all of these kind of benefits are enhancements to our lives. And I think the biggest problem sometimes is people don't know what's enough. And what I mean by that is what's your minimum daily requirement. There are 5 components of physical fitness. To start with, it's one, we got cardiovascular fitness, we got muscular strength, we got muscular endurance, there's flexibility, and there's body composition.
Right.
Okay. So each of those factors, each of those components, basically contribute to this cohesive whole that works together, and works together as optimally as possible. And then Yeah, and so we can build off of that. If we get just the foundation, okay, what's my body composition supposed to be? Well, ideally it's at least 80% lean body mass, so 20% body fat.
Oh, no,
Objective.
no, no.
You know,
14. 14. 14 is
no,
great.
for, you know what? And it's great if you were to if that's it becomes your recreational activity. You know,
Mhm.
but it's like anything else. The 80-20 rule applies to about everything in life.
Yeah,
And
it does.
so it's the same thing here with your body. If your body is more is 80% lean body mass and only 20% body fat, then guess what? You're going to be healthy. You're going to be strong. You're going to be you're going to have energy. You're going to have
Yeah.
all the things you just listed, and it becomes an objective goal. So it takes you away from that idea of, okay, man, I got to look like this, I got to look like that. No, if you achieve this number and that simple 80-20 balance in your body composition, you will see a body that pleases you, and it takes minimum effort to maintain, you know,
Yeah,
and
if you can
that's the
find
part.
like a Rev Nutrition or a GNC, sometimes they have those body weight composition.
Yeah, you can do that, or you can
And
go to a local gym, or and things like that. But getting a body, just taking a body fat test, and finding out what your body composition is. Every personal trainer has a body composition analyzer, and so whatever you do, find the
okay.
methodology. Just do one and do the same one. I have people come here, just do a body fat test, and they'll come back a couple of months and do the same one. Use the same methodology, and then you can track your progress.
Well, I'll be over later today. So
Okay, sounds good.
I always go I always go to Rev Nutrition and stand on that machine and hold your arms
Yeah,
out and it does all that thing. Yeah. That's
exactly,
always do that.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's but I didn't know about that. That's the thing I didn't know about. What I knew about was I had a gut, and when I looked down, I couldn't see important parts of my anatomy, and
exactly.
that was not acceptable to me. So that's where the whole thing started. So if that's where you start, if it's because you're narcissistic or because you look at your body and you don't like what you see, that's okay. That's
Yes,
okay. That's a good place to start. And then you start implementing those rules, the 80-20 rule, because that 80-20 rule goes so far in fitness. And I will go as far out on a limb to say here is as far as 80-20, it's 80% diet and 20% exercise. If you want to feel good, you've got to start with your diet. And it has to be a major portion of your life. And that's what happened to me is my diet started to change, and as my diet changed, then my exercise picked up because then I started to have the correct macros and burning carbohydrates instead of storing fat and all the things that I learned along the way. But the thing is, you've got to control your portions. You've got to do just the tiniest amount of things. And as you begin to change and as you begin to feel good, you're going to surprise yourself as far as jumping out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, feeling awake. That is not something I did, Roland, for
and it's you know,
years that I didn't do
and
that.
ironically, see, my clients, there was a period of time when, and in my training, I wouldn't even talk to them about diet until they've been training for 6 weeks. Food,
Training changes your diet anyway.
food is fuel.
Yeah.
And what happens in a supervised setting like this, then we can work with an intensity level that offsets a lot of what people's eating habits are. And what you discover is that most people don't overeat on an all day basis. Most people overeat at particular meals and
Mhm.
undermove. So we started the process of just, okay, get out, start walking, get out and start moving. When you start moving, you start burning calories because basically body fat is nothing more than stored energy. It's
Right.
unused energy. And if you start moving and start using that energy, most people carry enough excess body fat that if they just start moving, as far as what they're consuming in their diet and stuff like that, that will almost take care of itself because you don't, there's an appetite that you gain when your activity starts to go up. But
Right.
the thermogenic level for most people is so cold, is so low that they're not burning calories when they're sitting around. So you start working on developing movement habits. Park at the end of the parking lot and walk to the front of the store.
Right.
Don't spend, and see, it's funny because, you can always tell with the gas prices, the way they are now, people are getting the first space and parking, and they're walking all the way down there. I don't care. The closest to the drive-in, I drive in here and I park. I walk. I'm not going to spend that 10 minutes trying to find a parking space up close, because that's $5. That's $20. Okay, so I'm not
There you
spending
go.
so we start tempering ourselves with these kind of habits and activities. But those are the little things. Taking the stairs at work. You want to start getting some movement in your life. Take the stairs at work. Even when you get to work, park further back in the parking lot and then walk, to the front door or walk to your office. Just when we start putting a mindset like that in, we can start doing things that will offset some of the habits that we have right now, and you begin the
Right.
process. So
And yeah, starting slow. Starting slow. I preach it like
start
the
slow
gospel. Start
and
slow.
stay steady. The number one component of physical fitness is consistency.
Yeah. Right.
There's no matter what you do, if you keep doing it, you'll get results from it.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, the things that outwardly changed, those were shocking to me, because I got the thinner face, and I got the muscular body, and I got better balance, and I look better, and I'm friendlier, I'm more outgoing. It is the things that, when you look at the science of exercise, it can slow cognitive decline. Okay. As you get in your
Yes,
older years, exercise stops that cognitive decline. It helps with back pain. It helps you go to the bathroom. It's
yes,
it's everything that you ever wanted to be is locked up in some exercise.
it's
And
locked up in physical activity.
yeah,
Yeah, the expression of physical activity.
right.
You're, we know that metabolic diseases are minimized, cancers, are minimized. Your susceptibility even to what is it, infectious disease is
Right.
minimized. And you talked about earlier the your outlook, your mental acuity, but the mood swings and mood things. So, psychologists have prescribed, psychiatrists have prescribed exercise, as a form of therapy for depression,
Hmm.
and
Right.
so we're when we look at all the things that are available to us, most of them are intrinsic, and the key to our relationships and really being successful in our relationships comes down so often to how we feel about ourselves.
Right. Right.
And so if you have energy for other people, the benefit of being physically fit my whole life, the greatest benefit is being able to have this high availability for my children when they were growing up. And by high
Right.
availability, I mean because of the flexibility of my schedule, I could go to their school and be the PE dad. I take the classrooms out for physical education, and we play kickball. So we'd have kickball 2 days a week. I've got two daughters at the same school, so I've got to do kickball twice a week with two different groups of kids. But you know what I got to do? I got to know all their friends. I got to know the parents. I got to know all their teachers personally. The benefit that with my youngest daughter, I went to chaperone every field trip from first grade. I'm sorry, actually take that back, from kindergarten. From kindergarten through sixth grade, I won every field trip that my youngest daughter, was on.
That's
And
awesome, man.
it was amazing. And then I went to most of with my first daughter. She was older. She went to the same school separately, but I got to go to all these events and to go. I got whale watching with my daughters. Go to the Camp Keep and do all that kind of stuff, and hiking and taking them through all the things. But I participated in all of these events with them, and that is, to me, the memories I will cherish for the rest of my life. And we talk about this stuff today, but even more importantly, I run into their friends. I ran into one of one of my youngest daughter's always best friends in elementary school, getting off a plane in Phoenix, and he's standing next to me there, and I didn't recognize him. He's a pro golfer right now, and the dude is like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", and I remember him as a first grader through the fifth and sixth grader, and for the first time in my life, I turn and I have to look up to this kid who's got a beard, who's taller, who's 5 inches, 4 inches taller than me or so, and it's amazing. And I'm like, and what he says is, "Mr. Brown," and I'm turning around and I look up, and I have to look up. I was like, "What?" So that's the kind of stuff that you realize, man. And I was a late bloomer as a dad. My kids were born when I was in my 40s, so I had to take care of myself through that whole time, and it was it's fabulous. But those are the things that I encourage all the time. You got to have a why, when you're doing this, and then you have to know how, and then you
Yeah.
have to understand how much. And
It has
so,
to be that first awakening, though. You have to wake up to the situation and you have to tell yourself the absolute truth. And when I look back and I say, I self isolated because I was hurt and all the things that happened to me after that car accident. And I look back and I think of all the times that I said I don't like people. And I think truthfully, not everybody, but psychologically, I didn't like myself. I
yes,
wasn't, and I couldn't go out and present someone that I did not like to strangers. So I
exactly.
self isolated. I wore sunglasses in Walmart. I never talked to people. It was an awakening that I had just recently, Roland. And a completely different person than what I was
Sure.
5 years ago, 10 years ago. The person that you met in Albertsons would
Yeah,
not have spoken to you. I would not have
absolutely.
spoken to you. I would have looked at you and thought that old man's in shape. I'm not, and
Right.
I don't want to deal with him. So nowadays, I'm friendly, I'm outgoing, I speak to everyone. If there's a
Yes.
conversation to be had, I want to have it because the only thing I don't have from you is your experience, and that's what I want from people.
Exactly. And and it's interesting because your personal experience is so different from most people's.
Right,
Most people are not at a stage where they're going, "Oh man, I got to do something." Most people are at the stage where, "Man, I should do something." You
right,
know, too many. What I find is the hardest problem, the biggest problem we have is there are too many people that are happy, or at least feigning happiness, or comfortable. That's a better word. They're
comfortable.
comfortable in their current
Right,
physicality, their current lifestyle, and their current way of living, because most folks think that in order to do better, they have to deprive themselves of the things that they enjoy. It's an either or. It's been presented. So much of fitness is presented as black and
yep,
white, all or nothing, either or. So you're either, sacrificing all your time, all your energy, and all your money to getting in shape, or you're not. And that is the problem with that's what I want us to be able to get across to people, that this fitness is supposed to be a component of your life. It is not supposed to be your life.
right, right.
We've talked before about the things we see on our fitness feeds and stuff like that on Instagram, and it's like all the motivational stuff. Even these things, you can do it, you do this, and even the motivational. I was seeing some motivational stuff the other day, and all this motivational stuff has guys and gals doing stuff that I don't even do. And it's like, and the voiceover is saying, if you want to be the best, and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, no. Um,
Wait a
you're
second. Wait a
you're
second.
already if you're doing all of this, dude, you're already there. And the problem you have now is a lack of recognition of your level of success. Now
There you
you've gone
go.
from success to obsession. Because if you can't see that you're already made it because you're doing what this dude is doing in the picture, then we have a problem. Now we got to work on your mental health, because this has ceased to be a physical issue. Okay.
Yeah.
This is all in your head now, brother, because I'm like, no, I don't do that. And it's like,
My favorite guy, dude. My favorite guy. I see him all the time on Instagram, Facebook, all the ads. He's hanging from one arm. He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's ripped to pieces, and he's doing curls with the arm, with the other arm. And he's telling me, he's like, "You want to be like me?" And I'm like, "Oh, hell no, I don't want to be like that. That looks
exactly,
hard."
right. Exactly. And anybody who is sitting there going, okay, man, if you open it up and that's the first thing you see when you're trying to look for direction,
Right.
then you're going, no, I'm just going to watch you do that because that looks so good, and that's what it becomes, man. It becomes like fitness porn. You're just sitting there, watching people do stuff that even if you could do it, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, it's like my dad used to say, anybody in good enough shape to run a marathon is in good enough shape not to run a marathon.
Exactly. I already like your dad. I have said the same thing. It's not that and I used to tell my clients, it's not that you would wear a thong, but it's nice to know you could.
I
You know,
could if I wanted to, but no.
exactly. No, exactly. So all of this is the subjective aspect of fitness and exercise and stuff like that. The subjective part is based on what you as an individual enjoy.
Yeah.
But the objective part is the part that we're talking about. How many squats can you do? What it takes, the average, person, what's considered good for an adult male, adult female, be able to do 20 to 40 squats.
Yeah.
That's what's considered good, to be able to do 25 to 40 sit-ups,
Yep.
in an average adult male or female. So these are subjective numbers. I mean, objective numbers that everybody can go, okay, I know I can do this and I can do this. If my body can do this many sit-ups, then I'm good. If my body can do this many, squats, then I can do this. If I can walk for 3 miles, then I can do this. If I can run a
Right.
mile, then I'm good. So then now I'm in a position where if my wife needs help, I can help her. If my kids need me to go, do an event with them or some physical activity or go for a walk run type thing and one of those fundraisers they have to do, all of those kind of stuff, if I need to go, one of the most endearing things that happened for me with a client was I had a client come in and his goal was to be able to go on the rides at Disneyland with his daughter
All right.
because he was huge fans of his young daughter, and he would have to sit to the side while they did things because he was, he was a big guy already, but he was too heavy to go on some of these rides and stuff. That was our first goal. We got there. We got to the point where, and he comes back, after their latest Disneyland trip and goes, man, I got to go on all this stuff, man. And that is to me the reason that people need this, because you start to discover that the little things in life, you think your life is great until you come up against something that puts you in a position of, as you said, opening your eyes. Most people
Yeah.
haven't gone through trauma. Most people have discover that it's a matter of inconvenience, and all of a sudden then it's an embarrassment, and then now you're starting to lose memories, you're missing opportunities.
Yeah.
Fitness gives you opportunities.
And
And when you
missed opportunities lead to self-loathing, and you don't want that, man.
exactly
You definitely do not want to not like yourself.
right, right.
That's and when
Well,
one thing here, I want to get just maybe a tiny bit controversial. When we talk about body positivity, we should talk about body positivity from an aspect of health, not from an aspect of I'm comfortable with this,
or identity,
because
correct.
yeah, let's not say body positivity as it's a health issue. When it becomes a health issue, body positivity is dangerous.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, there's a certain, as again, you go back to the subjective body fat percentage, that we talk about. Yeah, they're going to be there. You can't make morbid obesity positive.
Right.
Okay,
And
I don't care. What you can love about yourself is great, but you can't love the morbid obese part of yourself.
You can't. Right.
If you decide that morbid obesity is something that you can wear as a badge of honor, then you're setting yourself up and you're setting your progeny up for a lifestyle of misery.
Yeah.
There is nothing positive about being grossly overweight.
Well, if
That's
you
not even
watch, if you've ever
controversial.
watched, right, if you've ever watched that show, My 600 Pound Life, I
Exactly.
don't think any of those people were happy.
Well,
That's not
no,
happiness.
that's my 600-pound existence.
Right. Wow.
Okay.
That's profound to think about right there. I'm just existing, and I have
Yes,
gotten that. I've gotten that idea in my life, sitting around watching TV, watching movies, gaining weight, being softer and softer and softer, and getting more and more depressed, and coming to that conclusion like I just exist. This is not life. This is not living. I don't want to be like this.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So if you are looking for adaptation, the other thing too that we've said bad health makes you selfish.
Yeah.
Poor health makes forces other people to accommodate you if they love you. You
Right.
know, and frankly, even if they don't like you, they're still forced to accommodate you. There's a reality here that this idea, I that you have to make it possible for me to exist in my current state, regardless of what my current state is. And
Right.
that is going on. That's going on in this world. And so the reality is, in life, is life is not accommodating. Real life's not accommodating.
No.
The eventually all of our uh, bad habits, so to speak, or all of our abuses will catch up to us. Life is
Yeah.
fair. Life is fair. You get what we reap what we sow. And, that's a sobering reality, but it's one that we don't hear enough, in our lives. We do. We reap what we sow. So
Right.
it's just why we're called to love others, but not accept everything. There are rules to the game. And
Rules
so
to the game.
there are rules to the game, and loving people does not mean going along with them no matter what they're doing.
Right. I agree. It's still a controversial topic.
Well, it's only controversial when people want to argue truth.
I agree
Okay.
wholeheartedly. I
uh, you
agree.
know, we label it controversial, but it's just truth. And it's stuff that people don't want to hear. So they call it controversial in order to shut you up.
Right.
But there's no controversy in this. There is no controversy in this. You will be, if you maintain a lifestyle of gross obesity, you will uh, have metabolic issues, you will have orthopedic issues, you will have cardiovascular issues, you will have a shortened quality of life, if not a shortened life. And I always, I hesitate with the shortened life part because, healthy people die every day. So it's,
Right.
accidents in life happen. So you might live a long time in that state, which means that you are going to have to accommodate a continually deteriorating body in that state. And as you do, that means there will be less activity, less interaction. Fewer people will engage with you. You'll have fewer opportunities for your relationships. Eventually, people are going to park you somewhere and go about their business.
Right. Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that because when I lived in chronic pain I broke 37 bones and we're talking about 8 to 10 surgeries and all kinds of things were happening to me. But exercise uh, reduced my chronic pain. It
Yes,
took away, it helped some joint issues. It helped my back issues. It helped my chronic pain. It weaned me. I weaned myself off of opiates,
yep.
which all
It's a
kinds
whole
of
nother
things have
story.
happened. It's
Absolutely.
a whole different ball game. My whole life changed. And when people ask me and they see me light up and they're like, "Wow, you look so passionate." It's like, "How can I not be passionate?" Okay? I
Yes,
went from feeling horrible, like I wanted to kill myself, to feeling like I could fly. And I tell people that sometimes when people ask me how I feel, I'm like, if I flap my arms hard enough, I feel like I could fly because I
yes.
feel that good. I knock the alcohol out and the drugs out and all the bad food, and everything gets better.
Your
Everything
coping,
gets better.
all of your coping mechanisms changed when you just started to
Right.
to move and clean up and do those things where, and all you did was exchange one coping mechanism for another one. But
Exactly.
you changed ones that were detracting or deteriorating to ones that were building and strengthening and uplifting.
Yeah, people
All we're
have,
doing is all we're doing is changing our behaviors and our habits.
because like our outside life didn't really change. My stress levels are still here, but my
Absolutely.
ability to deal with that level, I'm fine.
Yes.
I'm good.
Exactly.
Yeah, it used
Exactly.
to be my stress levels are here, and I'm going to have to go eat a chocolate cake and drink some
Hmm.
whiskey and smoke a
Yep.
joint and everything I need to do to get myself to understand
Level
that
off.
this level off. So now I don't really stress. I don't get angry. My it's funny. I talk to a lot of people about anger issues and the Buddhism part of my life and how I just don't get angry. And people are like, "That's unhealthy." I'm like, I don't think so.
Right.
I don't feel like I should be angry about anything. I mean,
Yes.
I can get indignant still, and there are still wrongs in the world that I'm still like, that's not right. But the way I approach it is no longer with this raw emotion of hate or anger or all that's
Yes.
gone. It's
Right.
all gone.
Right.
It's all gone. I can just
It's
look
no
at
longer.
something and be like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that has to do more with, when we start not taking things personally. There's a
yes,
difference between being righteous anger at the injustices in the world and the things we want to do about that versus being so sensitive that what we do is we take everything personally. It's all about me. And this again goes back to this: when you're in pain, when you're feeling bad, when you have, even when you don't like yourself, as you said, you can't, it's almost impossible to like other people. Love starts from here. And
yeah.
love starts from here. Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself, not instead of yourself." Okay, it's like God understands. Listen, if love doesn't start here, okay, then it's going to be impossible for it to overflow out of you. And
Right.
it's what we're to do. We're to overflow love for people, and so we start with doing the things that help us love ourselves, and not help us hide insecurities or become narcissistic or become self-indulgent and those type of things. It's more about having this reality that I have value, therefore I do the things that I need to do because I value myself. So
Right.
exercise and taking care of my physical self is an expression of the value that I place on my existence and the that God has given me for giving me life in the first place. It's my thank you back to Him for giving me this opportunity to exist in this world.
Right.
And so that very existence has to be uh, there's a gratitude that must exist. And for me, and what I hope that people will begin to understand is that the expression of this gratitude is giving back this physical ability and your opportunity to enhance other people's lives in this world. I wrote a post today. It says that what most of us need is Jesus and a weight loss plan. This
Okay.
is what we need today. We gotta have a heart for others, and we gotta have a heart for ourselves.
Well, if you do not have any spirituality, if you do not have any physical health, if you are losing your mental health, if you are losing all these things, there is no possible way you're going to get them all back at once. So, what you need to do is what we're preaching here. Everybody, listen within the sound of my voice, please listen. Start somewhere. If you are unhappy across the spectrum, pick a point in the spectrum that you can control.
And the
Stop sugar, stop drinking drinks, stop drinking coffees. Do something that you know you're overindulging, you know it hurts you. because when you eat a box of candy, you feel like crap. So tie those two things together and say, okay, if I stop doing that one thing, it can lead to other things. It's like a staircase that you
Absolutely.
one step. I stop sugar. Okay, I stop sugar. I'm going to start taking a walk, and then you can start building this house of love and self gratitude and feeling good about yourself. And like Roland says, when you pour in the cup and it gets filled up, what happens? The cup runs over, and all that just pours out of you. And when I talk about body positivity being a negative thing, let me be very clear here. I am empathetic towards the people that are trapped in their own lives and trapped in their own misery. And that's why I'm here. That's why I came here. I want to set you free. I want to help you help yourself. And if you can escape that and smile at me, you're just filling my cup up more and it just pours over more. So get to work.
Amen. And
Pick something.
start with the what you said just now. The one thing you said is pick something you can control. The one thing that we have, and this is the simple truth about control, is we only have control over our own bodies and our own actions.
Yep.
Our reactions, our actions, our reactions. So one of the benefits of starting with your physical wellness is that you absolutely have control over your ability to do something for yourself. So as Bobby said, whether it's starting with your diet, cutting sugar out, whether it's knowing that you're, eating a pizza at midnight is not going to be good for you, any of those things, drinking more water, drinking water
Yep.
every day, but getting out and getting physical, your body is yours. And it's the one thing that you have the greatest amount of control over. So we want you to start with physical fitness because it tends to be the one area that you have the greatest control.
Right. Right. And that's where we will preach until they take us offline. It's
And
up
then
to
we'll
you.
preach after that. Then we'll just stand in the marketplace and do it, stand on the corners and start doing it. We'll keep it up. Been preaching this for 40 years, and it is and it's never changed. This is the thing I've learned. You talk about the experience. I have 40 years of working with people doing this. You know what's never changed?
What's
People.
that? There you go.
People. We got the same limbs, we got the same hearts, we got the same anatomy. We have never changed. God created Adam and Eve, and He didn't improve upon the product. It was perfect when He said it. And so, what we have to do is recognize that it's always the little simple things that are going to make the biggest difference in our lives.
All right. Amen. I dig it. I got one thing to point out though. You said Adam and Eve were perfect. They were vegans, so
Exactly. And like I said, until they mess that up. Until they mess that up. And then God said, y'all going to have to eat some meat.
all right, man.
remember, God cooked the first steak.
There you go.
All right.
All right,
My
man.
brother. I appreciate you.
All right. Just remember, take this week, find
And
something
pick
that you can
something.
do, pick something and make it better. And you make your
Amen.
life better. And we'll see you
That's
next
right.
week, man.
Sounds great. Take
All
care,
right.
Bobby. God
Later,
bless.
brother.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. Roland and I are grateful for the time you spent with us today. If you liked it, subscribe because we'll be back every week to offer up that rational and reasonable advice on discovering your individual path to holistic wellness. It's time you join the revolution. See you next week.